Nobody in your family has ever built a business. No mentors, no connections, no safety net. Just you, a cheap laptop, and an idea that everyone around you thinks is stupid. This is what it actually feels like to be the first. It starts at the dinner table. Your dad works the same job he's had for 23 years. Your mom picks up extra shifts on weekends. Your older brother just got promoted to assistant manager, and everyone's celebrating like he won the lottery. And then someone asks you, "So what's your plan?" You try to explain it. You talk about the market opportunity, the business model, the potential revenue, but the words don't land. Your dad looks at you like you just told him you want to be an astronaut. Your mom says, "Why don't you just get a nice stable job like your brother?" And the worst part, a tiny voice inside you wonders if they're right. But you start anyway. 3 a.m. coding sessions, YouTube tutorials instead of Netflix. You eat rice and beans 4 days a week so you can put $80 into Facebook ads. Your friends are out at bars posting Instagram stories. You're in your room, refreshing Shopify analytics that show exactly 0 sales. The first 3 months are brutal. You launch, nothing happens. You pivot, nothing happens. You stay up until 4 a.m. rewriting your entire landing page for the 6th time. Your girlfriend says she's worried about you. Your brother says, "Just apply at his company. They're hiring." Everyone has an opinion about your life except the one person who should, you. Then one Tuesday morning at 6:47 a.m., your phone buzzes. You've made your first sale. $37.12. It's not life-changing money, but it's proof. Proof that a stranger on the internet looked at something you built and said, "Yeah, that's worth paying for." You stare at that notification for 10 minutes straight. You don't tell anyone, because they wouldn't understand why $37 matters. To them, it's lunch money. To you, it's everything. It means the model works. It means if you can get one customer, you can get 10. If you can get 10, you can get 100. The math starts making sense for the first time. Month 6, revenue hits $2,000, then $4,000. You quit your part-time job at the warehouse. Your dad calls it reckless. Your mom lights a candle at church. But something has shifted. You're not asking for permission anymore. You're not explaining yourself at dinner. You just quietly show up every single day and do the work. The loneliest part? There's nobody to call when you hit a wall. Your college friends don't get it. Your family definitely doesn't get it. You can't exactly text your dad and say, "Hey, my customer acquisition cost is too high. What do I do?" You learn to be your own mentor. You become obsessed with books, podcasts, and cold DMs to people 3 steps ahead of you. Month 9. Something clicks. You find your niche. The product isn't perfect, but people keep buying. Refund rate drops. Reviews start coming in. One customer emails you, "Hey, this actually changed the way I think about my finances." You screenshot that email and save it in a folder called Proof. On the bad days, you open that folder. You start meeting other entrepreneurs online. A guy in a Discord server who sells custom furniture. A girl on Twitter who built a 6-figure newsletter. None of them come from money either. And for the first time, you don't feel like the weird one. You feel like you found your people. They understand why you skip the party on Saturday. They understand why you reinvest instead of buying sneakers. Month 14. You cross $10,000 in a single month. You move into a better apartment. You buy your first real piece of furniture that isn't from a thrift store. Your bank account has a comma in it for the first time in your life. And it hits you. Nobody handed you this. There was no inheritance, no family business to take over, no rich uncle. You built this from literally nothing. Christmas dinner feels different this year. You pull up in a car that's actually yours, not a hand-me-down. Your mom notices the new watch. Your dad asks about the business, and this time, he's actually listening. Your brother pulls you aside and says, "Can you show me how you did it?" And in that moment, you realize you didn't just build a business. You broke a generational pattern. Year 2. The business does 340,000. You hire your first employee. You pay more in quarterly taxes than your dad makes in 3 months. Not that you'd ever say that out loud, because the real ones stay quiet. You don't post the revenue screenshots. You don't flex the lifestyle. You just keep building. You take yourself out to dinner. Alone. A proper restaurant. Not fast food. Not the microwave aisle at 7-Eleven. You order a steak and a glass of wine, and you sit there thinking, 2 years ago, I couldn't afford the appetizer at this place. The waiter doesn't know your story. The couple next to you doesn't know your story. And that's fine. You know, that's enough. The hardest conversation happens on a random Wednesday. Your dad calls, not to ask about the business. He calls to say, I'm proud of you. 3 words, 15 seconds. And it nearly breaks you, because he's never said that before, not about school, not about anything, and you realize he was never against you. He was scared for you, because he grew up in a world where risk meant losing everything, and you just showed him a different world was possible. But here's what nobody tells you about being the first: the guilt. You're sitting in a restaurant where the appetizers cost more than your mom's hourly wage. You're flying business class while your parents have never left the country. Success doesn't feel like champagne and Lamborghinis. It feels like a quiet responsibility to make sure you weren't the last entrepreneur in your family, but the first of many. So you start giving back. You pay off your mom's car. You set up a college fund for your niece. You take your dad on his first real vacation. And when he says, "This is the nicest hotel I've ever been in," something breaks inside you, because you realize this is why you did it. Not for the money, not for the status, for this exact moment. If you're watching this and you're the first in your family to take this path, I want you to know something. The doubt doesn't go away. The loneliness doesn't fully disappear. But one day, you'll look back and realize that every late night, every awkward dinner, every moment of being misunderstood was building something bigger than a business. You were building a new legacy, and that is worth more than any number in a bank account. If this hit close to home, drop a comment below telling me what your family thinks about your business. I read every single one. Subscribe if you want more stories like this. And remember, somebody has to be first. Why not you?